you've been seeing your name everywhere to the point where it's odd. Like it's weird. It starts to stick out. It's like every commercial randomly in the store. It doesn't matter what you're doing, something with your name is popping up, and there's a reason for that. And this is a major synchronicity that Spirit really wants you to pay attention to. And we're about to break it down and get into it during this reading. The first card to pop out was the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is interesting. It's talking about being in a place of exaltation in a visible way. People, it's not that the person in the Six of Wands is doing it for the glory, but what they are is they have aligned in such a way that they then rise. And that's kind of how your energy is coming across. It can happen in a lot of different ways. There's no uniform method for this rise, but you are on it and it needs to be talked about. There's an exceptional quality to you that I don't even think you really realize or utilize consciously, right? It's giving me that somebody who's really that one almost doesn't know they're that one. And that's what I feel like Spirit wants you to kind of like realize. I feel like if you've ever had these like strange interactions and you're, I don't know, at a loss for words on what to do with it, it's not because of you specifically, but because of what you embody and what they feel in your presence. I feel like that there's been a time of your life where you were relegated to the shadows. Hell, even only utilized as somebody who can help others climb, right? But there's something here about the moment you got sick and tired of that is the moment everything started changing. I feel like you honestly came to your own conclusion of why would I become the stairs when you can make the stairs? And I feel like you made the stairs. Like, look, this pyramid that they're standing on, the middle pillar, your consciousness is rising. And it's kind of apparent in everything that you do. Like, people feel like you're expanding. Your vibration is matching this resplendent aura, this resplendent energy of attainment and whatever that means for you if you're resonating with this. So, you already know what time it is. We're about to hop into this reading. This Nine of Cups is the next card to come out. I always find interesting. The Nine of Cups is about being satisfied with what you have around you, with what you have within specifically. This is a total lack of need of anything outside of yourself. And people want you off of this so bad because you cannot be influenced in the correct way, right? You think too much. You have too much of an opinion, you have too much autonomy. People feel like that you're escaping the rules and that it isn't fair, but for some reason that gave me the song Run This Town by Rihanna and Jay-Z. And that's how people are feeling like you break the rules and you don't care. But I really feel like it's the complete opposite. Whatever framework you work within, it's done masterfully. Like I'm getting whatever, if you're an acolyte of something, a student, an adept, an initiate, whatever it is, a clergyman, a priest, it doesn't matter. What it is, though, is you're exceptional at what you do, and everybody sees it. And I feel like that you have a level of insight that does freak people out. The Nine of Cups doesn't traditionally talk about insight, but it gives me insight through emotional experience. I feel like you have a laundry list of some things that you have been through, dealt with, and overcome to the point where it makes it seem like you are so tapped into everybody around you because you understand their issues. You understand the things that hold them back, that bind them to self limiting beliefs. And this simultaneously scares the hell out of people while also drawing them to you. People don't necessarily like change, and they also, in an unconscious level, recognize that the problems they have give some oomph into life. So if you were to come in there and solve them, it almost creates a vacuum effect, right? Especially if that person is not ready to replace what has needed to been like spiritually, surgically removed, right? And they can get this off of you. And that, like with the Nine of Cups, you come in the room with the full breadth of you and your experience and what you can bring to the table, right? And I had to use that word because there's no other word to like really get that feeling out there that you're bringing to the table. Um, and here we get to the Queen of Cups, right? The Queen of Cups is very interesting in your case because not only are you commanding the energy, do you have the knowledge and kind of like the correct head on your shoulders, but you give back. And I feel like you don't do this in a normal way to where people would praise you for it, right? I feel like you get recognition for something else, but your kindness and your ability to help people does not go unnoticed. And it's honestly good that it rides in the background a bit, right? Because I feel like you came from a place of being that therapist friend, right? You're really good at what you do, but you're not the world's shoulder to cry on. I feel like that you very much believe in emotional regulation and personal autonomy with a hefty emphasis on boundaries. But the thing about you is your boundaries do not keep you from being kind, but they also protect you, though. So people are thrown for a loop when they see you, again, being a person of the people, existing in a state of peace. They come over there and they're like, I'm about to get them, and they get got themselves because there's something about you. It almost comes across as disrespectful, your dismissal of a person who you know just wants to start drama with you. It's really funny. They get offended, like offended, offended. And the reason is because you're the Queen of Cups. They don't expect it from you. I've had how many messages has that come out? They don't expect it from you, right? Because you're too busy, I don't know, being happy. That's what the Queen of Cups is, happy to give back, but the Queen of Cups does not get taken advantage of. That's why she's the queen and not the knight or the page. If y'all are resonating with this reading so far, don't be afraid to hit that like, share, subscribe. It always helps. It lets YouTube know y'all like the videos. If y'all would like a personal reading, there's going to be a link in the description and at the end of the video. And then another PSA, there are multiple impersonators of me on different platforms. I only use YouTube and TikTok. My username is at Black Moon Transit. No numbers, no nothing, no WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, none of it. So let's just get back into this reading. You are reaching a zenith. We have the Emperor here. This is kind of the culmination of the latter half of the reading. And it's basically opening a brand new door. Yeah, look, six of swords. You have a lot of sixes. Sixes are a very good number. It's about exaltation. It's about kind of bringing something into full view, into fruition. And this is giving me like you're so close. Do you see the star? Like it's in view, right? You've done the preparation. I feel like that there's part of this. If you were not to do the shadow work, all the work you've done that we've talked about up until this point, that bright star in this peaceful lake guiding you, it wouldn't have been like that, right? You play smarter, you work smarter, not harder, right? And people see this is you're cunning. You're intelligent in the traditional sense, but there's like a cunning about you. It's not malicious, but it's like you have such a good handle on timing. You also have a very good handle on order of operations. I talk about PEMDAS, but you get it. Like you understand. You know that some things must be done before others to achieve the result you desire. You're really good at this. You're really good at identifying how to get to a place in the simplest way possible in a straight line. And it's like it's funny because you're not doing it linearly. You're taking like a whole bunch of these insights and you're stitching them together in a road for you to walk on. And it's giving me that spirit is your guiding hand, your machine almost, or the thing that enables you. You're tapped in. Like you are tapped in. This is why spirit describes you as exceptional in regards to spirituality and intellectual ability. Like you'll get people's gears turning. You're the type of person that can lead people to a higher power. It's not that you make it look cool, you make it look real because it is. And people around you can feel it. They know that this is not a sham to you. They know that the way that you are in front of them is probably the way you are when nobody in the world is looking at you. Look at the moon here. People view you as a very mysterious individual. You have wisdom beyond your years because you just are into that stuff. It's the best way to describe it. Like you have a hyper fixation on it and you're good at what you do, right? And this is what led you to probably encounter people that wanted to have you as the therapist friend. You can understand them, their heart, their mind, and you get them. Not only do you get them, but you listen to them without judgment. This is rarer than you realize. You're good at it and you've been doing it forever, so you don't realize it. But you'll realize it the second you take your problem to a person that isn't like you, and you'll understand just exactly the weight of the gift you're giving to people. There's something here about, because of your spirituality, that people can tell. It's like you have to be careful of them trying to use your gift for answers. It's giving me, if you've ever played Elden Ring, specifically the DLC, it's called Shadow of the Erd Tree. And basically, the plot part of it, at least, talks about the god queen Marika, which rules over the lands between. And she was from a race of people called the Newman, and she was in a place called the Shaman Village. The Shaman Newman people had this very unique spiritual ability to where their flesh could combine, right? It's like it's I don't know. They do it because they're like tree people in a way. But essentially they have a very it's a spiritual gift. And there's another race called the Hornsent who are striving after this spiritual attainment. They're trying to become like a collective godhood. If you've ever seen Evangelion, it's like that's kind of the plot, right? They want to take everybody, combine them into one to reach this certain spiritual goal. So basically, they would do horrific experiments on the Newman people, basically. Like it's a whole thing, it's nasty. And so essentially, America got fed up. We don't know exactly what she did, but it culminates in what people like to call divine horror. It's like you see a scene of her at the foot of an altar and a gateway made of the flesh of her enemies. And from within the gates of divinity, she summons this thing called the Elden Beast, or the Greater Will, that bestowed upon her the Elden Ring, which turned her into a full-fledged god. A god that's capable of manifesting a whole other reality, and that's what she did. Um, and then there's more to it than that. She got fed up, and it led to the events of the first half of the game. But anyway, you're giving me this because it's like when you realize what exactly you could bring to the table, it's like, I don't know, a flip switch. You didn't go off and like destroy everything or anything, but it's like you pull back your energy to the point where you poured it back into yourself, and then you ascended into a place that you are really meant to be, the place in life. And it's not even just in life. This is like a mental state. This is a mental state. It's much more than anything physical. This is a leveled up mental state, a leveled up consciousness through directed, intent work on yourself, on your mind, on everything. It's giving almost borderline like a scientist and a mystic merged. And that's why that's why I was bringing up the America example, because you've had people that know this, right? And they want to pick your brain, for lack of a better term. And I feel like that you don't allow it. You don't allow it. It's giving me real high priestess energy where it's like, yeah, I can help, right? But certain help and certain information isn't always that beneficial, right? Because people can use it for evil. And so I don't know, you've just got such a beautiful handle on everything that is you and what you have to offer to the point where there's no kinks in your armor. And speaking of armor, I was watching a video the other day where it was talking about misconceptions of medieval armor, random, but it's so you know how like in movies that you can slide a blade in between their armor to get them, and it's like it feels like it defeats the purpose of armor, but in real life they had thought of this already, and so it's basically they had this like movable armor. And it's giving me that from the outside people, I don't know, they thought there was kinks. They thought they could slide their blade in, which is their thoughts, um, to influence yours. And it just doesn't work. The moon here, they're met with boundaries. They're met with an event horizon that their calculations cannot get past. So that's what I got for y'all today. I always love doing these readings for y'all. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.